Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. How many days we got left, John?
1 day.
1 day.
Yep, 1 day.
It's game week. It's about to be game day.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on our number one player in this countdown.
Who could that be?
I'm going to go with Samuel George Ehlinger. By the way, that is a beautiful name.
General
Ehlinger.
Yes.
Sounds like a damn Civil War general. I love the name. I'm just going on a little tangent here, but quarterback names matter to me. It's a big deal to me. Like, you got to sound like.
Can someone look up that stat?
Right?
Like the success rate.
You don't sound like a good. Like, you got to have a good name. You know what I mean? Like Colt McCoy.
Yes.
You know, that's one of the reasons why Major Applewhite. You know what I mean? Samuel George Ehlinger. These are great men in history. You know what I mean? Even I'm a Cowboys fan. Rain Dakota Prescott. You know, like, great general names. Anyway, I digress. Number one player. Sorry to kill my man transfer.
You're good.
Number one overall player in our Longhorn 10 for 10 series. You know, what more needs to be said? You know, he's been the cover boy. We talked about poster boy before with Caden.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the ultimate poster boy, right? And the face of our program, the face of our turnaround alongside Mr. Tom Herman. One of the beautiful things about Sam, and I want you to touch on this, is his growth. He, you know, I think a big deal for our program, overcoming not one but two quarterback competitions. You know, taking that, you know, having to go through that, and now being here and being the unquestioned leader of this football program. What have you seen grow? Because you were on the Sam Ehlinger bus. You were driving the bus when everybody was hopping off.
Wanted to throw him under.
and just talk to me, man.
No, he just had that personality that you look for, the confidence but not cockiness, you know? I bring this up all the time, but the little first interaction I saw him on Twitter with Dylan Haynes, where he took a picture and said, "I can't wait to score touchdowns in this end zone," or something like that, and Dylan Haynes responded back, "You got to make the team first," and he shouted off like, "Didn't the third string quarterback of Baylor hurdle you here?" And I loved him ever since then. Fast forward a year later to the USC game, he's thrown into that game, and he just
first
performed.
road start. Yeah.
I mean, he completely performed, and you knew how the game ended, that you're going to deal with your bumps and bruises with this kid. He has to learn the position at the college level, but he's going to be something special if he stayed healthy.
To your point, I think we got very impatient as fans with him. And, you know, part of the frustration there was you had another top-tier recruit / quarterback that was there the year before in Shane Buechele,
right,
who was also the highly regarded quarterback out of Texas. And there was kind of camps going on, and then social media played a role. His interceptions, you know, the bad decisions that he made at Texas Tech and Oklahoma State as a freshman, and not being able to, you know, those are, and then on top of that, the burden that was on him as a true freshman that we didn't have, we weren't asking that from Vince Young or Colt McCoy.
It goes from the impatience to us being bad the past 6 years. That's why they're expecting him to be so great. But you got to think of it. Those games that you were talking about, that was him 4 games into his college career. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, you were gonna take those bumps and bruises. I mean, look how fast he ramped up. I think he only turned over the ball 5 times, and I think 2 of those were in Kansas.
Yeah, and the other 2 were against Maryland. So after the Maryland game, he goes on a historic
10-game,
historic no interception rate. You know, he goes from, you know, being so cavalier with the football his freshman year and making in that quick, you know, quickly ramping up.
Hats off to the coaching staff too for
absolutely
for
Tim
showing
Beck,
that up. Yeah.
They deserve a lot of credit. And
yes,
that doesn't get mentioned enough.
That doesn't.
I agree. It does not get mentioned enough. But his ability to take care of the football, his ability to lead so many 10, 12, 15 play drives, not screw it up, and get in the end zone. He was our red zone workhorse in the run game.
Earlier in the season, how many times did we in the game kneeling the ball, which we talked about. I mean, I could count, 4 or 5 on my hand, and that's the way I want to end games, is that we're just kneeling the ball. We don't need to run the score up. I don't care about that. I care about winning. And like you were saying, is that we'd have 5 minutes left on the clock, and we'd run the clock out on a 15-play drive where we just kneel the ball at the 20-yard line.
He gets beat up a lot over, and we've done it here on this channel as well, because we want to hold everybody accountable. He gets beat up a lot over the missed throws and the deep balls and some of the inaccuracy things. All these players have flaws, but to Sam's point, I forgot where it was. I think it was just one of the player availability sessions. He was like, we were a pretty good offense last year. Like, we know we missed some stuff, and everybody talks about no play over 50 yards, but let's also keep in mind we led a lot of deep drives. We scored points consistently. We averaged over 35 points a game. We had a very good offense last year. He set a school record for touchdowns accounted for at the quarterback position. There's, we're still going up. We're still ascending with Sam Ehlinger. But not only is he our best player on this team, he's probably the best player in the Big 12, I would say.
Right.
And he's our Heisman candidate. He's the guy that we're putting on the billboards. He's the guy that we're endorsing, and it's going to be front and center on the college football stage all year. He is a household name.
I'm glad you mentioned the Heisman. Before we were filming, you brought up a stat that you read, I think. You read about it. Can you bring up that stat real quick?
Yeah, so they had the stat in Horns Illustrated about Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, Tim Tebow, and Sam Ehlinger, only quarterbacks, I think over a certain period of time in college football history, that have had 25 passing touchdowns and 15 rushing touchdowns. Now, what do those other quarterbacks that I mentioned, not named Sam Ehlinger, have in common?
The Heisman.
They were all Heisman winning quarterbacks, right? So that's the type of season he had as a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And he still has 2 more years of eligibility here. Fun times are ahead of us, health willing.
Yes,
I feel like we have
always health.
We got to put that caveat on all these players. But Samuel, QB1, general, leader, leading this football team. I know he talks a lot about it's our team, and it is. In terms of the players and whatnot. But he's front and center, and he's the guy that has put this city on his back, has put this program on his back, and I think the sky is the limit for Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah, they talk about the other quarterbacks ahead of him. I mean, now's his time to take it. I mean, he can go out there and prove himself. I know Kirk Herbstreit is putting money on him. He said, I think he's gonna take that next step. So, I hope
he won a Herbie for most like best intangibles, or one of the preseason Herbie awards. But
so I hope
he's front and center, college football nation, and we got him front and center on our countdown where he should be.
Doesn't look like he's gonna break too.
No, guys, we appreciate everybody that tuned into this countdown. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the list. If you would have had players maybe that just on the edge of our countdown, like a Malcolm Roach or Jeffrey McCulloch, or even some of the other guys, Keaontay, guys that we debated back and forth about. But again, this was our list, our 10 for 10 series. Love to hear everyone's comments. We really enjoyed doing this. Mm-hmm. It's something I think we'll bring back next season and kick off our season with, in just terms of a countdown, and just make it a thing.
We might even do it at the end of the season too. Who actually turned out to be the
who were our 10 guys? Absolutely. Yeah, we can do kind of a review and see how we did, right?
Yeah.
And where guys ended up, because I do expect some guys that we have not mentioned to break in, right?
Yes.
So, but going into the season, Samuel Ehlinger,
not a shocker.
Number 1,
not a shocker, but
on the Longhorn 10 for 10 series. Guys, Horns always up.
Thanks, guys.